Hello, welcome to HCC Movie Makers Academy Movie Reviews. I'm Erik Calderon.
And I'm Neelou Goodarzi. And we just watched The Disappearance of Eleanor Rigby, Them. The Disappearance of Eleanor Rigby is a collective title for 3 films, Her, Him, and Them. So we just watched the 3rd film in this installment. It was directed and written by Ned Benson and stars Jessica Chastain as Eleanor Rigby, James McAvoy as Connor, and Viola Davis as Professor Friedman. The story follows a couple in wake of a huge tragedy, and we follow the characters of Jessica Chastain and James McAvoy, Eleanor and Connor, going through this tragedy, and when Jessica Chastain's character, Eleanor, tries to commit suicide and fails, she moves back in with her parents and leaves Connor, and he's just left. He's confused. He doesn't know what's going on, so we kind of follow him trying to find her, as well as find out for ourselves what's going on and why they separated.
The film was probably shot in New York, I'm not sure, because there wasn't very much information online. It grossed $66,000 on the first weekend. I'm guessing that the budget was probably in the million or below, maybe 500,000 to a million. Another, kind of like Kelly and Cal, very simply shot. The film was, I think that the director did a great job putting this film together and telling the story. I wouldn't mind watching Him and Her, but it was very slow.
Yeah.
It was like super slow. I mean, this film...
I agree. It was very slow-paced.
Yeah, very
I thought
slow.
that, I thought I was going to fall asleep at some point. It did keep me interested to a certain extent, but at one point I'm just like, tell me what happens. I don't want to sit here anymore with the clues and the clues. It's like teasing.
And that was a great job that the director did, was keeping you hooked with that one thing. Why did they break up, and why did she try to commit suicide?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, in the opening scene we see them, which that was my favorite scene in the film, right, was the opening scene. We see them in the restaurant, and they're doing, in Spanish it's called cuenta corrida, right? I don't know how it's called in English. What do you call it in English?
Dine and Dash?
Is it called Dine and Dash?
Dine and Dash.
Dine and Dash, right? Where they don't have money to pay the bill.
So they just ditch.
They ditch it. Yeah. And I thought that was really cool because it really told you a lot about the characters and their personalities and what they like and what they don't like and how fun-spirited they are and free-spirited. And then when you take them to the breakup, you're like, well, what in the world happened?
It's definitely a huge contrast.
Yeah. And then that keeps you hooked.
Yeah, and I think when you think of suspense, you think of action movies, thrillers, but I think that this movie had a huge amount of suspense in it, just because of the little clues that they would drop here and there as to why this happened, what this tragedy was that we don't really know about. Yeah. So that did keep me hooked, despite it being so long. Yeah. And tedious at times. Yeah.
I think it was over 2 hours. I think
it was 130 something minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So
about 133, I think.
Yeah. So I think 2 hours and 3 minutes, right?
Yeah. It was pretty long.
Well, we love films. If you love films, please visit the Houston Community College Filmmaking Program. Call Erik Nitzberg at the phone number listed below. We are brought to you by HCC TV and the Houston Community College Filmmaking Program.
To see our full review, you can go to youtube.com/HCC Movie Makers Reviews.
Okay.
Awesome.